Let's go to the Volta region, where former President John Mahama has promised to scrap the payment of ex gratia to Article 71 holders, as well as reduce the number of Article 71 office holders to reduce the pressure on the wage bill. He says the topmost priority of his next government will be to restore stability and inclusive growth to the economy of Ghana. He made these promises whilst launching his campaign to be flag bearer of the NDC in Ho.
Our country at this time urgently needs a leader with an unwavering desire to get things done in a no-frills, no-thrills, business-like manner. Not one enamored with sloganeering, excessive partisanship, personal comfort, and shallow populism. Ghana's next leader should exercise sound judgment and be able to make the right calls at the right time. A leader who accepts responsibility and works to fix the problem, and not one who shifts blame onto others. The leader should be one whose heart is filled with compassion for the people and who has the humility to connect with and understand the needs of the people he serves. Our country requires a visionary leader who will build a prosperous and progressive Ghana for all Ghanaians and not just a few family and friends. We in the NDC will not run a government of slogans. Instead, we will run a government of action. As a leader, you should be held accountable for your promises to the people. Your word should always be your bond. Ghana's next leader should exercise sound judgment and be able to make the right calls, as I said, at the right time. Such a leader must continue, and for emphasis, have the humility and presence of mind to take responsibility. And as I said, in this government, nobody wants to take responsibility for anything that goes wrong. Our next leader should be a leader whose heart is filled with compassion, as I said, for the people who he has the humility to connect with and understand. He should not be a leader who views the public purse as a family japadier, or in English, heirloom, or even the mandate given to him by Ghanaians to govern. He must not view it as a manifestation of his birthright. A leader who has his sights on leaving a legacy for posterity. That is what we need today. And with all the humility I can muster, I believe that I possess these qualities and that I'm uniquely placed, having sat back the past few years, to take stock of our country's trajectory. I'm aware of the extent of work that awaits the next government. There's so much to fix, there's so much to repair, and there's so much to heal. But I'm set and ready, very ready. I am set and ready, very ready, to build the Ghana we want together with you. Our mission as the NDC is to get out of the current nightmare and to get out of it together, reaching to one another, listening to one another, and providing hope for all Ghanaians.
Let's cross over to the Volta region and speak with my colleague Fred Kwame Asare, who is on the ground for us. He joins us live. Fred Kwame Asare, what else has the former President John Dramani Mahama been telling the people?
Well, he mentioned that 2024 is an important poll in the history of the country, and that given the situation, he believes that Ghana needs an experienced leader, not one who would come and do experiments. So he is in the position to better lead affairs of the country, and then recover the country's dwindling economy. He also mentioned that both the old and the young are suffering the brunt of this mismanaged economy, where officials of the government also continue to engage in corrupt practices. He mentioned that he had studied the terrain over the years, within the last 6 years, and then the affairs of the country troubles him a lot. He believes there is more to be done to restore the hope of Ghanaians and then ensure that they have enhanced livelihood. He stated that he would lead a 16-member executive to restore stability and inclusive growth to the economy. And then he will also lead the enforcement of prudent measures to restore faith in what he described as the almost collapsed financial system. Adding to that, former President John Dramani Mahama mentioned that when he eventually comes to power in 2024, he would ensure that gratia is so that it will save the public purse and then save some money which will go to development projects and other things that would better benefit the citizenry. He also mentioned that he would also constitute a committee or lead an investigation into how the country's funds have been utilized within the period when the NPP was in power, that is 2020 to 2024 and then 2015 to 2020. He was particular about the expenditure or the expenses made with the COVID funds, where he would ensure that every penny is accounted for. He also mentioned or stated that he would ensure an enhanced press freedom under his administration, where the media will not be gagged. The media will be allowed to do their work without interference. What is needed of the media to be done should be done without interference of government or government officials. He also mentioned that it is time that whoever is in charge of the country engages the grassroots to hear out their grievances, know what they need, and then ensure they are done. And also, he would not repeat the mistakes of the NPP, Akufo-Addo-led government, and then also build a formidable NDC party, which would attract the sympathy of Ghanaians.
Fred, what has been the response so far to these messages coming from the former president?
From the onset, when he was invited to the podium, the crowd cheered him up and then were ever ready to listen to what he had. One of the things that excited the crowd or the gathering at the City Auditorium of the University of Health and Allied Sciences at Chokodi here is that the scrapping of the S-Gratia. When he mentioned that when he comes to power, he would scrap off the S-Gratia, the entire auditorium went into Gaga. Let me just say that Gaga. They were excited that because over the years there have been issues with this S-Gratia thing where people are calling for it to be scrapped. So when the former president mentioned it, that when he comes to power, eventually comes to power in 2024, he would scrap off the S-Gratia. People in the auditorium were so excited about it and then cheered him on. They were also happy. He said he would launch an investigation into the expenditure of public funds and then hold people accountable. People who would not be able to account for funds that they use, or the country's funds or the state funds, they would hold them accountable and then give them the needed punishment. People were also excited about that. And then his investigations into the COVID fund as well. And then also, finally, when he announced his candidature to contest in the NDC primaries and eventually contest in the presidential primaries in 2024, the entire auditorium went into Gaga. They were excited and then were hailing his name and cheering on the NDC and then the former president for his decision to contest in the primaries and eventually in the presidential election.
Fred Kwame Asare is our correspondent in the Volta region, and definitely there's more on this in our subsequent bulletin. Let's